Welcome back to Ace Attorney Anime Review. This is episode number 3. Because the fact that I finished season 1, you probably think, okay, season 2, you probably think that the season's already aired so far. Kind of no, it has not aired. This is basically the only I'm only reviewing one episode because that is how many episodes were released so far, dubbed wise. I personally haven't watched the sub yet for this particular series for a good reason. The site I use doesn't have the sub, so there's that. Alright, let's talk about this particular episode. This was based upon the first case of the second game of the series that, for some reason, A1 Pictures skipped over. Also, there's a new studio who made this particular season. And here's something interesting, though, about this particular studio. Like with A1 Pictures, they're one of the people who make the Fairy Tail anime. Yep, it's the one of 3 series now makes Fairy Tail. Yeah, this is made by a company known as Cloverworks. Yep, Cloverworks. Yeah, that's seriously the name of the studio. And Fairy Tail currently is having 3 studios actually work on the animation. No idea why, they just do now. Along with Bridge, it's another studio that have work on it. Yeah, I've never heard of an anime that has three studios work on the same series. It's weird. As for why the show changed studios, no idea. It's one of the few shows I've actually seen where they actually changed studios. The only other series I can think of I personally have reviewed that they actually changed studios was Ashura Kenshin, because generally every single show I've watched has generally stuck with the same studio the entire time being produced. That's simply the way it is. What's the case for this one? Okay, we have this. Now, the episode starts off with Phoenix just reviewing his case file, and we see a guy in shadow. Turns out this guy is actually the one behind everything. So, they're repeating something from the previous season. Kind of showing off the actual, bad guy of the episode. Don't show his face this time, which I'm kind of glad they did not repeat that mistake from season 1. Where, with the first case, where they actually did show the killer's face. And it was pretty simple to figure out that, yeah, he was the villain. Yeah, in the case one, they do show off his clothes. They don't show off his face this time. Thank you, God, they did not make the... I think Cloverworks must have realized that A1 Pictures made a humongous mistake by showing off the face of the actual person behind the case, the actual true killer. So, they showed his body. They showed, the bottom half, whole body, except for his face. They kept his face in shadow. You heard his voice. But the kid's face in shadow, which I gotta think, though, that's a brilliant stroke of genius right there. You can show up the body, but don't show up the face. So, what he gets whacked in the head. What does he get whacked with? A fire extinguisher. I'm not kidding about that. This is something wrestlers use to beat their heads up with, at least beat up with. A fire extinguisher. Of all things, to hit on the head with the next unconscious. A fire extinguisher. That I've also seen people use baseball bats, a board, a fire extinguisher. Okay. Yeah, and it's later revealed why he did this. Much later in the episode. And apparently he completely forgot about this whole case. Apparently he got amnesia. Of course, he doesn't get a chance to tell anybody about it because he has to go to court. Also, they bring back the prosecutor from the first case in the first season. Yeah, he comes back. And he apparently Phoenix doesn't know about his special ability to cause people to go flying. Excuse me, the cause and call. Guess what? I've never heard of the actual explanation for this of why. Now, there's only 2 characters in the whole series, actually 3, that actually can do this. You have Phoenix, you have Von Karma, the male Von Karma, the older one, and Miles. They're the only 3 people who actually can do this. None of the other lawyers in the show, not even Francesca Von Karma, can do this. How does she get her attention with the witness? Using her whip. She doesn't have that special power. Yeah. I've never known exactly if they actually do get an explanation for this. So, yeah. Phoenix wakes up, having amnesia. He's like, okay, I'm defending you. Alright. And, of course, gets to trial. Gets very nervous. It's a very similar circumstance to how it was with the first game. With the first case of the first season. Of course, I haven't played the game. So, from what I can tell from the show, I definitely do want to play the games. Now, I think they have been released for... I think they have been released here, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I believe so. Let's see. Yeah, just for yeah, they are in the system that I have. hmm So they find that they actually kind of like the first case where it's only like one witness instead of like two or three like it is in other cases, and by the end, the one witness that the prosecutor has is the actual murderer. Yep. Takes a little while to figure it out, but yeah. But surprisingly, no Mia there to help him out like she did in the first case. Yeah, apparently Maya apparently forgot about it. So, and she doesn't show up until like toward the end of the episode. Oh, also I should point out though, she's actually in the third game, so she's probably gonna be here for the whole season. But she's not in games 4 and 5. She's actually absent for the next 2 games, and she comes back in game 6. This is what I looked up online. hmm So, yeah, her his basically his defendant. Her name is Maggie, and she's a cop. Okay, and they show in flashback when she was basically when this murder happened. She wore a completely different attire, and they so far have never explained this. Now, apparently at the police station they have this strange looking clown in front of it. I don't know if this has ever been explained or not in the video games, but it's a really interesting little thing, and apparently there's apparently some kind of popular thing there. So yeah, there's that. hmm Let's see. Um, trying to think what else. Oh yeah, and the evidence they present. The only evidence presented in this whole case is sort of it's just a broken pair of glasses and a baseball glove. Oh yeah, and how did the guy die? Being pushed off a bridge. Seriously, that is how he's killed. Okay, it's yeah, instead of using like I don't know something beat the head or stabbing or strangulation, you push him off something. Okay. From the look of the height of this thing, it looked like it wasn't that high, and under no circumstances a person might actually survive from something from that height. From the way it looks how far high this thing is, it definitely does look like some person would probably be in pain, like in serious pain, but they wouldn't die instantly. If it had to be a little bit higher, like high as a building, yeah. hmm So, yeah, and one of the key items is basically a baseball glove that he got as a birthday present from the woman named Maggie. And they find out pretty sloppily that this guy is actually a murderer. First of which, the fact that he uses his right hand to write the actual person's name, and the fact that they actually. I've never seen a spelling of Maggie like this at all. And I think if they're traditionally Maggie, like Maggie, this one is Miggey. Yeah. So, and how he found out her name is that he called the cell phone, which actually belonged to him. Which that comes to play a little bit later. hmm And because the guy was in his cop uniform, it's later found out though this guy is part of a major con artist ring. Yep. And the reason why he killed the officer is because he thought he was going to arrest him. Yep, that is the reason why. It's actually a good motive. A con artist getting nervous when he sees a cop, so he kills him. So there's that. Yeah, it takes a little while, and eventually he doesn't get his memory back once Maya, not long after Maya shows up, once he sees like the phone number contact in the guy's phone. So yeah, and it turns out the reason why he got knocked out by this guy is so he can get his hands on the phone. Now, what is this guy's name? I have looked the guy is up here. Hmm. Let's see. The guy's name is. Let's see if I can find his name is Wellington. Richard Wellington, and the defendant is Maggie Birdie. Yep. And the victim is Dustin Pierce, allegedly her lover. They never actually prove that at all. Oh yeah, Dick Gumshoe says that when he gets to the guts, when it's like, man, it's like a punch in the gut when he does that. Of course, they never come out to explain this at all, which is kind of weird. Of course, I've never played video games, so I don't know how they do it in video games, but it's probably very similar. Yep. Let's see what else. Yeah, the guy is eventually found guilty via his cell phone, and of course proving the motive. Of course, he gets his memory back, and then of course Dick Gumshoe does something nice for Maggie. He gives her a big thing of roses to congratulate her for being found not guilty, and she's like, "Thanks for supporting me, Dick." Yeah, it's funny. And there's also, I remember there was a gag in the previous season where Dick Gumshoe was like, "Are you like the only defense attorney around?" And it's kind of the same thing on Phoenix saying to him, "It's like, is he the only cop around? Like, why is he always showing up?" It's quite weird, but it's hilarious. This overall was a pretty good episode. hmm Yeah. Now the next episode is going to air tomorrow. Yep. In Japan right now, they've already aired episode 5 right now. Yep. We'll look at the description of next week's episode for the episode airing tomorrow. It's gonna be interesting. So I look forward to watching it tomorrow after I review after I read some new comic books. Okay, so that's particularly it for this particular review. Stay tuned for my review. There's probably gonna be a review of Tokyo Retail because new episode airing tonight, and also Bardo, that'll probably be next, and of course, 7 Deadly Sins. 2 manga reviews like right after this one, okay? But until you see the next review, bye.